things to be optimistic about for last year as we get ready for this year. Let me just tell you how busy the off season has been to this point and what we've done and what we plan on doing. So let's start with the entry draft that we had in LA 2 weeks ago. The previous 3 drafts, 07, 08, and 09, we've had 26 draft picks, which has been, I think, the most of any team in the National Hockey League. 9 of those picks have been first or second round picks, and those players are Jonathan Blum, Smith, Spaulding in 07, Colin Wilson, Chet Pickard and Yossi in 08, Ryan Ellis, Zach Budish, and Charles Roussel in 09. Spaulding and Wilson played games for us last year and will play again this year. And I think almost all those players are going to get to play for the Predators. In this draft in LA 2 weeks ago, we drafted a young man by the name of Austin Watson in the first round, 6'3", about 215 pounds. Really interesting story. I hope you got a chance to watch the draft, or if you see it on our website. Austin comes from a family of 9 brothers and sisters, actually 1 sister and 8 brothers, and his mother is 8 months pregnant, I guess 8.5 months pregnant right now. Yeah. It's an amazing story. All of us were there in the suite with their family after the game, and I was all rattled and nervous, and they were completely under control. And this young man is 18 years old. His family went down to, lived in Michigan, went down to Florida for his job, his dad's job, and Austin decided to stay in Michigan so that he could pursue his hockey career, and he's going to make it. And so at 18, he's like a second father to their family, but it's just a great story, and we're really happy to have him. He's here at Centennial if any of you want to go watch all of our picks. Have the conditioning camp going on right now. But the point of the draft has been so good to us. In the last drafts, we have taken one of the biggest and most talented players, which is one of our goals, is to get a little bit bigger. So in each of the last 3 drafts, we've taken Colin Wilson, who you've seen, who's like 6'2" or 6'3". Zach Budish, who you'll see in a couple of years, he's playing at the University of Minnesota. He's about 6'4", and now Austin Watson, who's 6'3". So we're getting bigger. The draft has been really good to the Predators. Again, if I can just once take a moment to thank Paul Fenton, our assistant general manager, and Jeff Kelty, who's the director of our amateur scouting. This is our bread and butter, and these guys have done a great job. Last year, I think 12 of the 21 or 22 players that played on a regular basis for the Predators were draft choices. I think in the years to come, you're going to see more of our own draft choices play for us. But the draft is not the only way to get players. We've also used trades, and I'd call them unique trades, to help ourselves. In the last few years, we've been able to acquire draft picks by trading players soon to become free agents, and ended up essentially with a couple of first-round picks and a talented winger. In 07, we traded Kimmo Timonen and Hartnell, traded their rights to get Jonathan Blum. Jonathan Blum is now just about ready to play, and I think you're going to see him play some games for the Predators this year, if not make our team. Unfortunately, we couldn't re-sign Dan Hamhuis, but we were able to trade his rights to Philadelphia for Ryan Parent. And Ryan is the former first-round pick of the Predators that we didn't want to trade, but that was back in the Forsberg deal. He's 23 years of age. He's 6'2", 6'3". He's one of the best skating young defensemen in the league, and I know Barry and the coaches are really excited to get him back because he's going to play for us for a lot of years. This is absolutely the best time to get a defenseman at this age. He's just ready to come into his own. And we were able to make one other trade when we traded the rights to Dan Ellis and to Dustin Boyd for Sergei Kostichin, who's a player with the Montreal Canadiens, who we just signed this past week. A little bit of a wild card for the Predators. As some of you say, I might be a little conservative and not go out of the box too much, but Kostichin is really a talented player. Probably a player that I think it's fair to say that has not quite lived up to his expectations or those that have seen him play. I know talking to him on the phone, he wanted a second chance and an opportunity, and talking to Barry and the coaches, this is not going to be any problem to give him that. And I think, I don't like to say this is going to be a home run or a bust, but this kid has a lot of potential, and as Tom said, could be a guy that could bring us some offense. So really excited about having him on board next year. People talk about free agency all the time, and you know, we've signed some free agents in the past few years, and hopefully we don't sign a lot, but we sign the right ones. We've got J.P. Dumont, who's averaged over 60 points a year for the last 4 years for the Predators. Joel Ward, who's in town this week and helping us out at the conditioning camp. He's just played fabulous for us. Was a guy that we got from San Jose last year. He had a career year for us under Barry, and it looks like a player that we just got at the right time and is getting better. And Francis Boulian, who I mentioned earlier, is a defenseman that I think is going to be here for the next couple of years to really solidify our defense. So I think we've chosen wisely with our free agents. And we also had an opportunity a few days ago to sign another free agent. In USA Today, they said this was the #1 best center iceman available. He scored 53 points last year. He's one of the fastest players in the National Hockey League. He's going to play on our top 2 lines. He's definitely going to play in all situations on the power play and penalty killing. He's a great addition to our hockey club. And if he is within sight here, I would like to have you welcome the newest Predator, Matthew Lombardi. We'll give Matthew a chance to say a few words in a minute here, and let me just finish up here. So, what I hope, and Barry feels the same way I do, is that just to give you our depth chart right at the moment here, we got a lot of options at center ice. We got Lombardi, we got Colin Wilson, who can also play the wing. I got David Legwand, Gotch, O'Reilly, Smithson, Sully's coming back next year. Erad, Hornquist, Dumont, Ward, Steechin. Toughness, we got Tutu and Vilak, and we signed another free agent, Jonas Anderson, as some of you long-time fans might remember. We drafted him in '99. He's now 29 years of age. He came over, just played in Milwaukee a little bit, but he is a much more mature, much better player. I got to see him at the World Championships. Barry's watched him some of the DVDs, and he's really going to be a good player for us next year. He's 6'3", he can really skate, and I think he can score some goals. So we've got lots of competition and depth this year, and this is why I'm so optimistic about the year. In goal, we've got young goaltenders like Dekanich, Smith, Pickard, this Anders Lindback. Once you see him, it's going to remind you of Pekka Rinne. He's played in the Swedish League. This will be his first year over. He's 6'6", and again, we got really good depth at our goaltending. Forwards, we've got Nick Spaulding that you got to see last year, Andreas Thuresson, Mike Sandarelli. We've got the local product, and Blake Jeffreyon. We've signed a very good offensive player that we're going to give a really big chance to. And on defense, you've heard me talk about Jonathan Blum. Roman Yossi is a kid from Switzerland that we really are high on this year. He played for them in the Olympic team in the World Championships, and he's all signed and ready to go. Ryan Ellis, our first pick from a couple of years ago, has won 2 Memorial Cups in junior, and he's going to give it a good shot at training camp this year. So we think we've got as good a team as we've ever had here in Nashville. So we're ready to go. There was a little bit of a change there, and it forced me to make a change, and I traded Jason Arnott to the New Jersey Devils.